all 12th graders from CBSE board, welcome to my channel Learn with Dr. Chetna, and in today's video I have taken up the last chapter of your book Vistas, and the chapter is Memories of Childhood. The chapter contains two autobiographical accounts of two women writers belonging to different places. The Zitkala Sa and Bama. Zitkala Sa, her real name was Gertrude Simmons Bonin. She's from America. She belonged to Native American tribes. So you all might be knowing that before the arrival of Europeans in America, Native American Indians were living in America. There were several tribes of Native American Indians. They have their own traditional beliefs, their own traditional way of living, and their own language. But when the European colonizers came to America, they thought that these people are uncultured, they are uncivilized, and therefore they need to be taught the modern ways of living or the European ways of living. Therefore, they tried to transform them by stripping them of their own identity. So when they went to different places, they started they opened many schools there, and in those schools the small children of those tribes were forcibly admitted. So Zitkala Sa, the pen name of Gertrude Simmons Bonin, was also forced to go to that school. She was separated from her mother. So what did she experience there? She experienced oppression. She was given ill treatment. She was forced to do things that she did not like. But though she faced all this, because she was a child of 9 years at that time, she did not have strength enough to fight those or to resist those mighty powerful people. Therefore, when she grew up, she wrote about all this. She became a very famous writer, and she fought for the rights of Native American Indians and gave voice to the injustice, ill treatment, inequality that was imposed upon them by European colonizers. So first we will take up the account of Zitkala Sa, who was an Native American Indian. So what is her account, or what is her story? Let's see in this chapter. The cutting of my hair. The cutting of my long hair. The first day in the land of apples was a bitter cold one. So they were shifted to the land of apples. But there were no apples on the trees. There were no leaves on the tree. It was winter. It was very cold. For the snow still covered the ground. There was snow on the ground, and the trees were bare. That means there were no leaves on the trees. And besides this, the atmosphere too, that was of distress, misery and agony. जो वहाँ पे एटमॉस्फेयर था वो भी बिटर और कोल्ड था, क्योंकि they were being forced to stay in a place they never liked to come. That's why the poet is starting her story with this kind of description. A large bell rang for the breakfast, its loud metallic voice crashing through the belfry overhead and into our sensitive ears. Belfry का मतलब होता है a place, the church tower where the bells are hung, जहाँ पे bells लटकाई जाती हैं. तो breakfast के लिए bell बजती थी. And instead of creating a kind of excitement among the children, otherwise क्या होता है, breakfast की आवाज़ सुन के सब लोग बड़े excited हो जाते हैं, अरे वाह आज क्या खाने को मिलेगा. They become happy to hear of breakfast. But this bell that was there for their breakfast was was creating a kind of agony and pain in their minds, crashing through. This voice was harsh. It was hitting them hard. The very sound of the bell was hitting them hard. It was piercing them because they were not happy at that place. Into our sensitive ears, the annoying clatter of shoes on bare floors gave us no peace. And then again she is describing the sound of footsteps was also giving them was painful to their ears. They were not liking it because they were not liking the place they have been forced to live. उनको वो जगह ही अच्छी नहीं लग रही थी जहाँ उनको force किया जा रहा था रहने के लिए. The constant clash of harsh noises with an undercurrent of many voices murmuring an unknown tongue made a bedlam within which I was securely tied. Bedlam means a place which is chaotic, which is noisy. तो जो content clash, so the people who were talking there were totally alien to them, totally unknown to them. They do not have any connection or any connect or any bond with them. Therefore, and their language was also alien to them. They were not able to understand whatever they were saying. So this disconnect was creating a kindness of bitterness, a coldness, and it was giving them pain. It was agonizing for them. I was securely tied. She was feeling herself chained, trapped in that chaotic, in that noisy environment, noisy atmosphere. She was not only feeling physically trapped. Physically तो trapped थी, but जो उसकी individuality थी, she was feeling that her individuality too had got trapped in that cold and bitter environment. And though my spirit tore itself in struggling for its lost freedom, all was useless. She was a child of only 9 years. She wanted to fight against it. She wanted to put a strong resistance against it. But what was happening? She's saying that it was all useless because they were all adult. They were all adults, and at the same time they were all powerful. They had power to trap them there. It was difficult for them to break free from that hell for them. तो यहाँ पे ऑथर बोल रही हैं कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा चेंड और ट्रैप्ड फील कर रही थी उस बिटर और कोल्ड एनवायरनमेंट में, बिकॉज वो एनवायरनमेंट जो था बिल्कुल टोटली एलियन था, उनके समझ से परे था. A pale faced woman with white hair came up after us. So there was a woman with yellow complexion, with white hair. We were placed in a line of girls who were marching into the dining room. So all the girls had to move towards the dining room at the sound of the bell. So they were moving there in line. These were Indian girls in stiff shoes and closely clinging dresses. So they were Native American Indian girls, and they were wearing tight dresses which were making them uncomfortable, tight shoes which were making them इनकम्फर्टेबल. तो टाइटनिंग सिर्फ उनकी बॉडी में ही नहीं थी, बट कि इंडिविजुअली भी, इमोशनली भी, साइकोलॉजिकली भी वो बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रैप्ड और बंधा हुआ अपने आप को फील कर रहे थे. दे वर फीलिंग देम that they were psychologically and emotionally trapped. The small girls wore sleeved aprons and shingled hair. तो जो लड़कियां वहाँ पे थी वो एप्रन पहन रही थी because they had to go to the dining room to eat their food. तो स्लीव्ड एप्रन्स पहने हुए थे और उनके हेयर बिल्कुल छोटे छोटे काट दिए गए थे. एंड दिस वॉज समथिंग अगेंस्ट देयर ओन ट्रेडिशन, देयर ओन नेटिव अमेरिकन इंडियन ट्रेडिशन. तो बाल छोटे करना उनके वहाँ एक अच्छा सिंबल नहीं माना जाता था. एंड ऑल दीज गर्ल्स हैड शॉर्ट हेयर. I felt like sinking to the floors. She was feeling ashamed. She was feeling embarrassed एम्बैरसमेंट हो रहा था ये सब सोच के उनको, वो अशेम्ड फील कर रही थी. फॉर माई ब्लैंकेट हैड बिन स्ट्रिप्ड फ्रॉम माई शोल्डर्स, सो समथिंग दैट हैड कवर्ड हर शोल्डर्स, जो वो ब्लैंकेट पहनी थी वो हटा दिया गया था. देयर फॉर शी वॉज फीलिंग अशेम्ड एंड एम्बैरस्ड. आई लुक्ड हार्ड एट द इंडियन गर्ल्स who seemed not to care that they were even more immodestly dressed than I in their tightly fitting clothes. तो वो बोल रही हैं कि जो वहाँ पे और इंडियन गर्ल्स थी, नेटिव अमेरिकन इंडियन गर्ल्स थी, perhaps they had got used to that kind of oppression, that kind of force, that kind of cruelty. That's why they had accepted to wear those dresses that did not look मॉडेस्ट. जो ड्रेसेस मॉडेस्ट या सिविलाइज्ड उनके अपने नेटिव अमेरिकन ट्रेडिशन की तरह नहीं लग रही थी, बट उन्होंने अपनी इस रियलिटी को, इस क्रूअल्टी को एक्सेप्ट कर लिया था. In their tightly fitting clothes, while we marched in, the boys entered at an opposite door. तो जब वो जा रहे थे तो कुछ बॉयज़ भी वहाँ पर आए. I watched for the 3 young braves who came in our party. So she could sense that there were 3 boys who were not liking all this. Perhaps they were too resisting whatever was happening to them. I spied them in the rear ranks. तो वो उनको अच्छे से देख रही थी. Looking as uncomfortable as I felt. तो वो बच्चे भी, वो 3 बॉयज़ भी uncomfortable फील कर रहे थे, the way the poet, the author did. A small bell was tapped and each of the pupils drew a chair from under the table. तो बेल बजी, सबने चेयर, टेबल के नीचे से चेयर निकाली, डाइनिंग चेयर निकाली. Supposing this act meant they were to be seated, I pulled out mine at once, slipped into it from one side. तो उन्होंने भी सोचा कि ये चेयर निकाल के बैठना होगा, तो उन्होंने भी चेयर निकाली और बैठ गई. And when she raised her head and saw around her, she could see that nobody had got seated. कोई भी अभी बैठा हुआ नहीं था. I was the only one seated. And all the rest at table remained standing. बाकी सब लोग खड़े थे. Just as I began to rise, looking shyly around to see how chairs were to be used, a second bell was sounded. All were seated at last, and I had to crawl back into my chair. फिर दूसरी बेल बजी. तो जब पहली बेल पे वो बैठ गई तो उनको लगा कि अरे कोई नहीं बैठा है तो मैं अब खड़ी होती हूँ. और जैसे ही वो खड़ी हुई वैसी दूसरी बेल बजी और दूसरी बेल पे सब बैठ गए और फिर वो भी बैठ गई. And I looked around. All were seated at last, and I had to crawl back into my chair again. I heard a man's voice at one end of the hall, and I looked around to see him, but at all the others hung their heads over their plates. So all the children there had lowered their head when they were sitting on the chair. उन सब ने अपने सिर नीचे कर लिए थे, because perhaps they were not allowed to keep their head upright, just to remind them that they had to bow down to those who were teaching them good manners. तो उनको हेड नीचे करने के लिए कहा गया था. As I glanced at the long chain of tables, I caught the eyes of a pale-faced woman upon me. Immediately I dropped my eyes, wondering why I was so keenly watched by the strange woman. तो उनकी अचानक एक वुमन पे नज़र पड़ी जो वाइट वुमन थी, वाइट complexion था, and she was looking constantly at her. She felt embarrassed and therefore she also lowered her eyes. The man ceased his mutterings. जो आदमी कुछ बोला उसने बोलना बंद कर दिया. And then a third bell was tapped. और अब थर्ड बेल बजी और क्या हुआ? Everyone started, picked up his knife and fork and began eating. और सब ने खाना खाना शुरू कर दिया. I began crying instead, for by this time I was afraid to venture anything more. अब लेकिन the author started crying at this moment because she was not used to this mechanized way of eating their food. Bells were ringing and there were steps. The children had to follow, and then they were allowed to eat their food. And वो एक comfortable तरीका नहीं था, घर का जैसा तरीका नहीं था, एक mechanized way में वो सब काम कर रहे थे. And perhaps this made this child, a writer, cry at that time. But this eating formula was not the hardest trial in that first day. अब उसको क्या बोल रही है, eating formula. That means there is a formula for eating food. जो फूड कैसे खाया जाना चाहिए, हैप्पी मूड में खाना चाहिए, रिलैक्स मूड में खाना चाहिए. लेकिन वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा था, देयर वर रूल्स इवन फॉर ईटिंग फूड. तो वो बोल रही है बट दिस ईटिंग फार्मूला वॉज नॉट द ओनली ड्रेडफुल थिंग देयर. केवल वही डराने वाली चीज़ नहीं थी, देयर वॉज समथिंग मोर दैट शी गॉट टू नो. और वो क्या था, लेट इन द मॉर्निंग माई फ्रेंड जुडविन गेव मी अ टेरिबल वार्निंग. Judwin knew a few words of English and she had overheard, उसने कुछ सुन लिया था, the pale-faced woman talk about cutting a long heavy hair, कि उनके जो लंबे बड़े बाल थे वो अब काट दिए जाएंगे. That is what her friend had overheard. Our mothers had taught us that only unskilled warriors who were captured had their hair shingled by the enemy. Among our people, short hair was worn by mourners and shingled hair by cowards. Mourners means जो किसी के लिए दुखी होते हैं, शोक मनाते हैं, condolences करते हैं. तो this culture, the very thing that their hair will be cut short was totally in opposition to what they believed. जो अब तक वो believe करते आए थे उससे totally different था. In their own culture, the Native American Indian culture, short hair were synonymous or were symbolic of cowardice and mourning. कि जब आप दुखी होगे, जब कोई मर जाएगा या बहुत ट्रैजिक कोई न्यूज़ होगी या जब आप एनिमी द्वारा कैप्चर कर लिए जाओगे, in that case the hair will be cut short. Otherwise, long hair were symbolic of prestige, of dignity. Now, what was happening, that was totally in opposition to what they believed. उनके belief system से, उनके traditional value system से ये चीज़ बिल्कुल ही different थी, अलग थी, and that's why it was painful, it was agonizing, and it was cruel for them, for all those children. We discussed our fate some moments, and when Judwin said we have to submit because they are strong, I rebelled. But our author, our writer, was made up of different metal. जब उसकी फ्रेंड ने बोला कि we don't have any option but to give in, हमको सरेंडर करना पड़ेगा. If we have to, we cannot resist, we cannot fight, we will have to surrender. The author said, she rebelled. She said, no, I will not submit, I will not give in, I will struggle first, I will try my best to resist this. मैं इसको protest करूँगी, resist करूँगी. I answered. I watched my chance, and when no one noticed, I disappeared. I crept up the stairs as quietly as I could in my squeaking shoes. स्क्वीकिंग शूज़ मतलब आवाज़. अब उसको भी पहले वो मोकेसन्स पहनी हुई थी, पहले हमने पढ़ा था, जो सॉफ्ट लेदर के बने हुए थे और जिनमें एक ब्यूटीफुल डिज़ाइन बना था. अब वो जो उनके ट्रेडिशनल शूज़ थे वो भी हटा दिए गए थे. स्क्वीकिंग शूज़, जो आवाज़ करने वाले शूज़ थे जिनसे बड़ी हार्श सी आवाज़ आ रही थी, दे were forced to wear those shoes because perhaps they wanted to keep their oppressors, or the European colonizers wanted to keep track of what these children were doing. Therefore, they had been given shoes that were making noise. My moccasins had been exchanged for shoes. Along the hall, I passed without knowing whither I was going. So she was in the mood of resisting. Therefore, she disappeared and started going to a place she did not know what she was doing. Turning aside to an open door, I found a large room with 3 white beds in it. तो एक रूम में चली गई, वहाँ 3 white beds थे. The windows were covered with dark green curtains, which made the room very dim. Thankful that no one was there. तो कोई वहाँ पे नहीं था, and she was feeling thankful for it. I directed my steps toward the corner farthest from the door. तो एक corner पे चली गई. On my hands and knees, I crawled under the bed and huddled myself in the dark corner. और उन्होंने अपने आप को वहाँ पे बिल्कुल छुपा लिया. huddled मतलब अपने पैर और हाथों को बिल्कुल ऐसे करके वो बेड के अंदर छुप गई. From my hiding place I peered out, shuddering with fear whenever I heard footsteps nearby. तो जब भी उनको footsteps की आवाज़ सुनाई पड़ रही थी, she was getting frightened because she knew that they will find her. They were calling her name and I knew that even Judwin, उसकी जो friend Judwin थी, वो भी उसको ढूंढ रही थी, was searching for me. I did not open my mouth to answer. Then the steps were quickened and the voices became excited. The sounds came nearer and nearer. Women and girls entered the room. वो women and जो girls थी वो उसी room में आ गई where she had hidden herself, and they started looking for her in closets, behind the boxes, and ultimately they were able to find her under that bed. And I remember being dragged out. Though I resisted by kicking and scratching wildly, in spite of myself, I was carried downstairs and tied fast in a chair. So just see which kind, the inhuman treatment that was given to her. She was a child of 9 years. She could have been treated with love, but that did not happen. Even a child of 9 years was dragged from that place, from under the bed where she had hidden herself. वहाँ से उसको forcibly ले जाया गया, है ना. Though I resisted by kicking and scratching wildly, और वो scratch कर रही थी, उनको kick कर रही थी कि मुझे ये सब नहीं करना है, but her crying, her cries, her resistance did not have any effect on those people who had come there looking for her. In spite of myself, I was carried down. She did not want to go there, but she was forced to go there. That means how cruel, how oppressive these people were. They did not believe in being human. They were they were behaving in a monstrous manner, or just like monsters. I cried aloud, shaking my head all the while until I felt the cold blades of scissors against my neck and heard them gnaw off one of my thick breaths. Now it was the time when her beautiful braids, beautiful long hair, which was symbolic of dignity, which was symbolic of prestige in her own culture, had been cut off. अब उसके बाल काट दिए गए थे. Then I lost my spirit, and then she felt very weak because something had happened, just something had happened that was against her wishes. She resisted, but she could not fight them because she was just a child of 9 years. Then I lost my spirit. So she felt emotionally broke at that time. Since the day I was taken from my mother, I had suffered extreme indignities. That means inhuman treatment was given to her. First, what was the worst act? That all these children were separated from their parents to be given education in a school that was far away from their own place. It was Carlisle Indian School. They were all placed there in that school, and indignities means she was facing disrespect. Even a child of 9 years could understand what disrespect was. People had stared at me. I had been tossed about in the air like a wooden puppet. So instead of being given a fair treatment, she was being treated as if she was a puppet, as if she did not have any feelings or emotions, and that was chilling, that was painful, that was agonizing for the author. And now my long hair was shingled like a coward. Now when her long hair had been cut, she was feeling emotionally down, emotionally broke, because these short hair were in her own culture were associated with weakness, associated with disrespect, associated with cowardice. In my anguish, I mourned for my mother. Now she recalled her mother. She started thinking of her mother, but no one came to comfort me. So she was a very small child of 9 years. She thought, because she was in a miserable condition at that time, and whenever a child is with her parents and especially with her mother, if there is a difficulty, the mother calms the child, she soothes the child. But there was no such thing. Her mother was not there, and no adults in that place thought of consoling that small child. And that is, and by because she was a child of 9 years, and they were not humane enough to think how to treat the small children. Not a soul reasoned quietly with me. Not a single person present there could understand her predicament, could understand her emotional condition, as my own mother used to do. For now I was only one of many little animals driven by a herder. Now she is comparing herself to an animal. So how they were being treated? As if they were all animals and they were being guided by someone. And this was painful, insulting, disrespectful for the author. But these very things gave rise to a strong author, a strong person. All this gave strength to her, and it was because of this only that she decided that she would study. Though she would remain in that school, she would bear the disrespect, but at the same time she decided to study, learn lot of things, and when she became an adult, she fought for all this. She raised this point of Carlisle Indian School, what had happened there, and she fought for the rights of Native American Indians. So this is the story of Zid Kala Sah. This story tells that even on the face of oppression, a person can remain strong, can draw strength from his or her painful situations. Now the next account or autobiographical account is by Bama, whose real name was Bama Faustina Susai Raj. She was a Tamil Dalit woman from a Roman Catholic family, and because she wrote with the pen name Bama, she also faced inequalities just like our author in the previous story faced. Because she belonged to a Dalit caste, she must have experienced oppression, subjugation and isolation, and she too became a strong writer to write about what she had undergone when she was a child. So her story starts with the title, "We are two human beings," that we all are human beings. So the kind of treatment that should be meted to us should be that of a human. We should not be treated as a second-rate citizen or second-rate people. We all are equal. When I was studying in the 3rd class, I hadn't yet heard people speak openly of untouchability, but I had already seen, felt, experienced and been humiliated by what it is. Untouchability के बारे में लोग openly बात नहीं करते थे, लेकिन that was existent, that existed and that was experienced by the author and by all the people of her caste. I was walking home from school one day, an old bag hanging from my shoulder. It was actually possible to walk. It was actually possible to walk the distance in 10 minutes, but usually it would take me 30 minutes at the very least to reach home. It would take me from half an hour to dawdle along, watching all the fun and games, just like any other child of that time. घर सिर्फ 10 मिनट्स दूर था, बट जो मार्केट में, रोड में जो जो एक्टिविटीज़ हो रही थी, शॉप्स थी और लोग सामान बेच रहे थे, लोग खड़े थे, या वट एवर द पीपल वर डूइंग amused her, and therefore she took small steps to reach her home. It took her 30 minutes to reach her home, while otherwise the distance was very short and she could have reached her home in 10 minutes. तो बाज़ार में जो भी हो रहा था उनको बहुत अच्छा लग रहा था. द परफॉर्मिंग मंकी उस समय करतब दिखाया करते थे जिस समय वो छोटी थी. The snake which snake charmer kept in the box and displayed from time to time. अब इस तरह के चीज़ें देखने को नहीं मिलती हैं, पर स्नेक चार्मर्स होते थे, एक बॉक्स में स्नेक को लेकर आते थे और स्नेक का डांस लोग बड़े इंटरेस्ट के साथ देखा करते थे. And displayed from time to time. The cyclist who had not got off his bike for 3 days. So there would be a cyclist who would keep cycling for continuous 3 days, and he was given money for that, for his encouragement. Who kept paddling as hard as he could from break of the day. The rupees notes that were pinned onto his shirt to spur him on. The spinning wheels, वहाँ पे झूले भी आते थे. The Mariata temple था. The huge bell hanging there. The Pongal offerings being cooked in front of the temple. The dried fish stall by the statue of Gandhi. So this is the description of the market there. The stall selling fried food, snacks, and all of the shops next to each other. From street light always demonstrating how it could change from blue to violet. So everything was of interest to this little child. Therefore, she would take long time to reach her home. Nari Kurwan, hunter gypsy with his wild lemur. Lemur is a kind of monkey in cages, selling needles, clay beads, and instruments for cleaning out the ears. Oh, I could go on and on. She says that I can describe a lot of things that were there. Each thing would pull me to stand still and not allow me to go any further. At times, people from various political parties would arrive, put up a stage and harangue us through their mics. That means वो बड़ी aggressive speech, harangue means aggressive speech देंगे. अलग अलग political parties के लोग आते थे. They would sell their ideas to the people. There might be a street play or puppet show or no magic, no miracle, stunt performance. All these would happen from time to time, but almost certainly there would be some entertainment or other going on. So there were so many activities. She gave a description of what happening there in the bazaar. Even otherwise, there were the coffee clubs in the bazaar. The way each waiter cooled the coffee, lifting a tumbler high up and pouring its contents into a tumbler held in his other hand. तो एक हाथ से दूसरे एक गिलास से दूसरे गिलास में वो कॉफ़ी डाल के उसको कूल करता था. So she is describing all this. Or the way some people sat in front of the shops chopping up onion, their eyes turned elsewhere so that they could not smart. Or the almond tree growing there and its fruit which was occasionally blown down by the wind. All these sights taken together would tether my legs, उसके legs को बांध देती थी. Tether means बांध देना, and stop me from going home. And then, so you need to have a fair idea of all the activities that were taking place in the market. There can be a question, describe the market or bazaar of that time. What were the activities that were taking place? So keep a track of all this. And then according to the season, there would be mango, cucumber, sugarcane, sweet potato, palm shoots, gram, palm syrup and palm fruit, guavas and jackfruit. Every day I would see people selling sweet and savory fried snacks, paisam, halwa, boiled tamarind seeds and iced lollies. So this was more than enough to keep a child stop in the market for a long time. Instead of going to home, she was staying there for all these things. Gazing at all this, one day I came to my street, my bag slung over my shoulder. At the opposite corner, though, a threshing floor had been set up. Threshing floor means वहाँ पे जो grain था उसको threshing करने का काम किया जा रहा था, उसको straw से it was being separated from the straw, so वहाँ पे पूरा सा जो भूसा था वो फैला हुआ था. And the landlord watched the proceedings, seated on a piece of sacking spread over a stone ledge. तो stone ledge पे एक बोरा सा बिछाया हुआ था. He was sitting on that. Our people were hard at work. Our people means people belonging to her caste were working hard, driving cattle in pairs, क्योंकि उस समय machines नहीं थी तो cattle के साथ वो काम किया जाता होगा, तो वो cattles को चला रहे थे round and round to tread the grain from the straw. The animals were muzzled. Animals का मुंह बंद किया हुआ था so that they wouldn't help themselves to the straw, ताकि जो वो वहाँ पे straw था, जो भूसा था, उसको खा ना जाए. I stood for a while there watching the fun. So the girl was, our author was enjoying all this. Just then an elder of a street came along from the direction of the bazaar. तो उसी समय when she was enjoying all this, an elder belonging to her caste came from the market. The manner in which he was walking along made me want to double up. तो उसको देख के उसे बड़ी हंसी सी आने लगी. Double up means यहाँ पे हंसना है. I wanted to shriek with laughter at the sight of such a big man carrying a small pocket in that fashion. तो उनको लग रहा था कि this man is so big in size and he's carrying a small bag, and the way he was carrying the bag was something that interested her, that amused her. And what was that? I guessed there was something. तो उस बैग में क्या थी? You can see in this picture the bag was there and there were strings tugged to this bag and he was holding the bag with the strings. और जो ऑथर है उनको लगा कि उसमें बड़ाई है, because the wrapping paper was stained with oil. क्योंकि वो ऑयली चीज़ होती है तो wrapping paper भी stain हो गया था. He came along holding out the packet by its string without touching it. So he was not touching the bag. He was holding the bag with its strings, but the bag was not being touched by this man, and she was getting amused with the fact कि वो उसको पकड़ के क्यों नहीं ला रहा है, why he is bringing this bag in such a manner. I stood there thinking of to myself, if he holds it like that, won't the package come undone and the vadais fall out. तो उसको लगा ये बड़ी स्टुपिडिटी कर रहा है, इससे बढ़िया उसको ऐसे पकड़ के हाथ में लेकर आता, ऐसे तो पकड़ के लाएगा. If he carries it like this, because of the weight of vadai, this might get torn up, वो फट जाएगा, गिर जाएगा. The elder went straight up to the landlord. अब उसने देखा कि वो सीधे landlord के पास गया, bowed low and extended the packets towards him. उसको पैकेट दे दिए. Cupping the hand that held the string with his other hand. तो जो उसका हाथ था जिससे उसने बैग को पकड़ा था, स्ट्रिंग्स पकड़ी थी, उस हाथ को दूसरे हाथ से उसने ऐसे पकड़ लिया, दबा लिया. मतलब he did not let this both of his hands touch the bag. The landlord opened the parcel and began to eat the vadais. After I had watched all this, at last I went home. My elder brother was there. I told him the story in all its comic detail. I fell about with laughter at the memory of a big man and an elder at that, making such a game out of carrying the parcel. उसने अपने brother को सारी बताई. She gave the details and she was laughing at the stupidity of the man that was carrying the bag. But Annan was not amused. लेकिन उसके भाई को बिल्कुल हंसी नहीं आई. He was not amused. Annan told me that the man was not being funny when he carried the package like that. तो बोला कि वो it was not funny. It was not something funny. He said everybody believed that they were upper caste and therefore must not touch us. If they did, they would be polluted. That's why he had to carry the package by its string. So भाई ने क्या बताया कि because these landlords belonged or considered themselves as an upper caste and therefore they thought that they should not be touched by the people who belong to lower castes, and if lower caste people touch them, दे विल गेट पोल्यूटेड, वो पोल्यूट हो जाएंगे, उनका धर्म जो है वो भ्रष्ट हो जाएगा. दैट्स वाई दिस मैन वॉज नॉट टचिंग द बैग. एंड when I heard this, I did not want to laugh anymore and I felt terribly sad. Now the little child or our author got the reality check. उनको अब समझ में आया कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा था. And then she felt sad. And she must have felt that how hypocritic it is that the person will work for them. He will bring vadai from the shop for them, but he would not touch them. What kind of hypocrisy it is? How could they believe that it was disgusting? If one of us held that package in his hands, even though the vadai had been wrapped first in a banana leaf and then parceled in paper, I felt so provoked and angry that I wanted to touch those wretched vadais myself straightway. So now anger was boiling in her. She was boiling with anger. There was anger inside her because she got to know what was the meaning of carrying that bag of vadai by that adult. Why he was carrying it in that manner, she got to know, and she was angry at it. I felt so provoked, and she thought that she herself should go there and touch the vadais because she wanted to rebel against this custom, against this practice. That's why she felt like going and touching those vadais, because she thought that all human beings are equal and there should be no discrimination on the basis of caste. Why should we have to fetch and carry for these people? I wondered. Now there were questions coming to her mind. Why should we serve them when they are so discriminatory against us? Such an important elder of ours goes meekly to the shops to fetch snacks and hands them over reverently, bowing and shrinking to this fellow who just sits there and stuffs them into his mouth. The thought of it infuriated him. So he was angry at this very fact that why people belonging to my caste serve these people who consider them upper caste. How was it that these fellows thought so much of themselves? मतलब ये अपने आप को बहुत बड़ा समझते हैं ये लोग. क्यों समझते हैं अपने आप को बहुत बड़ा? Because they had scraped 4 coins together. Did that mean they must lose all human feelings? क्योंकि उन्होंने हमसे ज़रा ज़्यादा पैसा क्या कमा लिया है कि वो अपने आप को हमसे superior समझ रहे हैं, and they don't have any human feelings. They cannot give us equal treatment. They are considering ourselves inferior to them, and that is something unacceptable to this child. But we too are human beings. Our people should never run these petty errands for these fellows. बोल रही हमारे लोगों को ऐसा काम इनके लिए बिल्कुल नहीं करना चाहिए. We should work in their fields, take home our wages and leave it at that. It should be as simple as that. कि हम उनके fields में काम करें. They should pay us the money for that, and the work is done. That's over. Why should we feel inferior to them? Why should we serve them? My elder brother, who was studying at a university, had come home for holidays. We would often go to the library in a neighboring village in order to borrow books. So they both were studious, they were studying, they would go to the library. और एक दिन एक लैंडलॉर्ड का जो कि वहाँ काम करने वाला बंदा होगा, उसने ब्रदर से पूछा ऑथर के, जब उसको लगा कि दिस पर्सन इज़ नॉट फेमिलियर टू हिम, हु आर यू अपा, व्हाट्स योर नेम? Anand told his name. Immediately the other man asked, Thambi, on which street do you live? तुम कौन से street पे रहते हो? The point of this was that if you knew on which street we lived, he would know our caste. So this very question about the place was to know to which caste they belong. और अभी भी इंडिया में जब हम किसी को नाम बताते हैं अपना, या तो there are many people would ask you your caste, because this feeling of superiority still exists among some people, which should not be there, because all human beings are equal. God ने सबको equal बना के भेजा है. तो this practice of asking about the street was to know the caste. Annan told me all these things, and he added, because we are born into this community, we are never given any honor or dignity or respect. We are stripped of all that. So what her brother is telling her, that क्योंकि वो एक उस कास्ट में born हुए हैं, therefore they are treated with disrespect, they are treated with indignity, and they are not given respect, or they are not given a fair treatment. We are stripped of all that. But if we study and make progress, we can throw away these indignities. But then he is suggesting a solution too. If we study, our books, our study is a tool to remove this disparity, to remove this inequality. So study with care. So he is giving her an advice. Study with care, learn all you can. If you are always ahead in your lessons, people will come to you of their own accord and attach themselves to you. Work hard and learn. That you must learn, you must read, you must study. The words that Annan spoke to me that day made a very deep impression on me, and I studied hard with all my breath and being, in a frenzy almost. So these words mattered a lot. These words of advice had great impact on the author, and therefore she studied hard. And as Annan had urged, I stood first in my class, and because of that many people became my friends. So when she made a place for herself in the class by standing first in the class, many people or many students of the class became her friends. So studies or learning was a tool to remove the disparity, to remove the inequality, as we saw in the first story. The author there studied and could write about the injustice she has faced, and here too the author studied and could write about all this when she became an adult. So these two stories tell us that we all human beings are equal. There shouldn't be any discrimination based on caste, creed, religion and race. God has made us equal, and therefore we should treat all human beings in the same manner. I hope you have understood both the stories. If you liked the stories, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.